All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. I'll call the meeting to order. We can move the slide. We're on conflict of interest disclosure. If you can move it one more time. Thank you. Does anyone have a conflict of interest to disclose? All right, great. We will move on. I need a motion to approve the minutes that were sent out from last open session.
I'll move.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. The minutes have been approved. As we come into the end of the calendar year, just a few days before my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving, I'd like to give thanks to everyone here. You know, this year has been a banner year for soccer in the US, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your hard work in making this all possible. Yeah, as we look ahead to the next few years, there is so much more we can accomplish together. And I am so energized by the collaboration among everyone and how you're all leaning in to help make our game better at every level. I think our member meetings was an example of this. It was so fun that I was able to join for 2 days. But speaking of making the game better, I want to take a moment to highlight the exciting announcement we made earlier this week. Michelle King gave a transformational gift of $30 million. Michelle's gift and personal leadership helps ensure women's soccer in the US will remain the global leader. This gift will go to funding several critical priorities in our soccer ecosystem. One, increasing national team opportunities by extending the number of YNT camps, expand and improve our talent development program. So no matter where you live and play in this country, you will have the opportunity to be seen by our scouts. And it will also go towards supporting the continuous professional and personal development of female coaches, referees, and executives. You know, if we want to have the best players in the world, we need to surround them with the best staff in the world. So on behalf of you, everyone at US Soccer, I want to again thank Michelle for her leadership, her generosity, and friendship. I am so excited about what we're going to accomplish together. Let's take a moment to celebrate one of our own board members. I haven't seen if she's on here yet, but Cassidy Leak. She captained the women's CP national team to a second place finish at the World Cup. Congrats, Cassidy and team.
Thank you, Cindy.
Okay, you're on. I couldn't see you on my screen. Well done. All right, so let's dive into the topics we're going to cover today. We'll walk through a few critical areas of our strategy. We will hear about all the great things happening in the ecosystem, including hearing from your council leaders. I know we have some exciting playoff games this weekend with 2 finals in the NWSL and USL and conference semifinals in the MLS. We'll talk about our soccer strategy and the work underway to ensure that we continue to achieve our goals, both on and off the field. And you'll hear some updates on our efforts to grow investment in the sport, as well as our own financial progress. All right, with that, I will turn it over to Sherry for some membership highlights.
Thank you, Cindy. Similar, want to echo what Cindy said. Just first, a huge thank you to all of our members and to all of those that joined us in Chicago most recently for our member meetings. You can see a few pictures on the right-hand side. But we've taken significant steps to really connect with everyone through our ecosystem review and beyond. And this was just another incredible opportunity to engage with all of you on some of the key initiatives at US Soccer, while also celebrating the outstanding work that's happening across the soccer landscape. So from our discussions, there's really been 3 key themes that have emerged that will continue to guide us moving forward that I wanted to quickly touch on. I think first and foremost is we remain committed to deepening our engagement with everyone in the soccer community. We believe that we are better when we make decisions grounded in your feedback and with the collective, and that is really where you're going to drive outsized impact and results, and we'll continue to move forward in that way. Second is our community is filled with exceptional talent across the board, and by collaborating, we can develop and we want to develop world-class resources that really reflect the depth and the breadth of expertise that's within our ecosystem. And finally, I think the more that we continue to connect, the more that we build relationships with our community, with the culture of American soccer, the more that we can work together to elevate American soccer to its fullest potential. This will be things that we continue to take forward, and just appreciate all of the engagement to date and a lot more to come. So if we flip to the next slide, I did want to just also highlight and say a special thank you to all of the member organizations that shared their success stories and best practices at member meetings. As you can see here, we had the privilege of hearing from 15 different organizations around a number of different programs, initiatives that they're leading, work that is truly transforming the game. And it's opportunities like these that allow us not only to celebrate the outstanding achievements across our landscape, but also to continue to learn and to grow together as we continue to share insights, share ideas, share what's working. So on behalf of myself, US Soccer, the entire team, just deeply appreciate all that you do. And again, thank you to all of those who showcased their incredible work recently. So I now want to throw it over to our council representatives to share some highlights, starting with Adult Council, John and Fritz.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I will begin with what's happening at the Adult Council. And as many of you can remember, during the governance task force, I had made a commitment to add all adult members of US Soccer as members of the Adult Council. At that time, USASA was the only member of the Adult Council, and we felt that, we needed to expand the Adult Council to add all members. And since that time, we've added the USSSA and UPSL as members of the Adult Council. We are currently in conversations with the USL, and as a matter of fact, I think we will propose a new bylaw for this year to make it even more feasible for members to become members of the Adult Council. And that would include to allow the USL to become a member of the Adult Council. So exciting to have everyone that's participating in the adult space to be members of the Adult Council so we can work together to grow the adult game. Second, and this is pretty new, is yesterday in cooperation with US Soccer, we agreed that we would host the adult elite amateur tournament this summer for both men and women. As many of you know, that the men's elite tournament has been called the Steinbrecher Cup. And in the past, we have held the Michelle Akers Cup, which was tournaments held for the top women and men's amateur teams in the country. So in cooperation with US Soccer yesterday, we agreed that we would continue with that tournament this summer. And we also agreed that we will have a adult task force working group, adult working group 2.0, to continue discussions on how to grow this tournament and how to make it better for the entire adult community. That's what I've got. Fritz, do you have anything?
Just to add a couple of things. Thank you, John, from the USASA side. One National Amateur Cup play has started in the Northeast, and if the entries numbers are any indication, we should have probably over 100 teams enter again this year for the 101st season of the Amateur Cup. That's the men's. Women's probably will not start until March, April of next year. And at this point, USASA has also completed a 6-month process working with outside consultants to the board and to the staff that are intended to help both membership growth and better our member services across a couple platforms. So we've ended the evaluation and analysis phase of that, and we're now in the implementation phase. So just some highlights from that end of the ecosystem.
Fantastic. Thank you. I think next is athletes, and we'll throw it over to Chris.
Great. Thanks, Sherry. Thanks to John and Fritz for the adult update. And it's good to see everyone on here. Just really brief. Cindy stole my thunder a little bit. I was going to start with congratulating Cassidy and then there's a great picture of her right there with her teammates celebrating. Cassidy, it was awesome to watch you. I know you wanted to win. I know you're competitive, but We're still really proud of you. I also want to highlight that another Athletes Council member on the men's CP side was away, captaining the team, as well as Ben Lindau. And as of this morning, they beat Germany 4-3 to finish in 7th place, which in the CP space is a really strong finish. Anytime you can finish top 8 and have made the quarterfinals is a really strong finish. And so that's great. So we're really proud of Ben as well. And then recently also our deaf men's and women's teams were both abroad, and the men brought home the bronze medal from their Pan American Games, and the women had a friendly series in Japan, which they showed incredibly well at. On the governance side of things, we're actually in the midst of wrapping up an election. So roughly half of our council will be turning over, with a few returning members that were reelected. Oddly enough, we had a tie at the bottom of it, so we actually have to have a runoff for the last spot, which I don't know that that's ever happened before. So that's why we're in the midst of it, and wrapping it up. Post that election, we will be holding our internal board elections, as there are a few terms that will need to be filled, and so on and so forth. So just really brief update. But again, happy to be here. Really proud of our athletes that are all competing right now. And once the election updates are finalized, those of course will be made public, and we'll share them with the members and everyone else.
Thank you, Chris. Moving towards at large, and John.
Thank you. It seems that Chris took some of mine. There's wonderful overlap between the athletes and the athletes participating in the at-large groups that were doing well. Congratulations to the CP women and men's teams, as been mentioned before. Also, the women's amputee team reached the World Cup finals. And some exciting news with respect to beach soccer. The women have recently had a camp as they're preparing for the Acapulco Cup, which would be their second. If they win, that would be their second cup. And they're currently, I believe, ranked 8th in the world. And you have a picture of the men's beach team on there. They are having a camp, just recently had a camp. They're preparing for the 2025 CONCACAF Beach Championship, which will be a lead into the FIFA World Cup. Oh, and I should note that it looks like FIFA is going to launch a women's beach World Cup soon. So, you know, it's pretty exciting to be able to announce all this stuff. U.S. Soccer's support of the extended national teams, from someone who's been around as long as I have, and John Mata, is sort of a new development. I admit it's a few years old now, but what's nice is you can see we're paying dividends already, and as we build out the rest of our 27 teams, it continues to grow, and it's wonderful to see the participation of people who weren't able to participate before and do so at the highest level. So thank you for that, and that's all I have.
Thank you, John. Over to the pro council highlights, starting with Don.
Don, I think you're on mute.
How about that? Sorry about that. Let me start by congratulating the group at the Federation, leadership and the staff for an incredible year. And, you know, I've said this to JT and Cindy, you know, this probably should be saved for the end on behalf of all of us, but it's just been remarkable, the turnaround in the Federation and the money that's been raised and the focus. I really, really look forward to hearing about that from the group later on this morning. It's been a remarkable year for the sport on the professional side too, and I'm sure we're going to hear later from the other leagues. It has always been for us, you know, a laser focus to fulfill the promise of the sport in our country, and this year, I think, has been another year for collectively working to deliver on that promise. We're on track for the second highest attendance of any soccer league in the world. And that is really a remarkable accomplishment for pro soccer in the United States. We'll trail only the Premier League in terms of attendance this year, with over 12 million fans already having come through our turnstiles, even before we take track of our playoffs. We've had a great season, regular season with Inter Miami, setting a point record this year. LAFC won the U.S. Open Cup. We're in the midst of our playoffs, which will be very exciting this weekend and next. And MLS Cup is slated for December 7th. Many of you who follow us closely might see that our year-end awards were announced, and I want to congratulate Wilfred Nancy for being honored as our Coach of the Year. Will is such a great representative of our league, of our sport, and certainly has done an incredible job with the Columbus Crew. Off the field, it's been another record year for us with sponsorships and consumer products and digital engagement. And I think it speaks to the raising of the commercial value of the sport here in our country, which has been one of our focuses from the very beginning. And I'm so pleased to see the numbers of companies that are, whether they're domestic companies or international companies, that continue to engage in investing in the sport in our country. On the field, we are very focused on this positioning as the league of choice for both international stars and young players. And joining Leo this year are Oliver Giroud and Marco Reus, just as two international names coming over to Major League Soccer. And there is continued focus on seeing elite players and a very, very expanded youth focus with MLS Next and our academies. The story with Kevin Sullivan and Benjamin Kramaski in Miami and Julian Hall, not just playing with their team, but making an impact on our national teams and playing for our Olympic teams. I think it's an important fact to note that our youth academies are providing 85% of the youth national players and 17 of the 18 players on our Olympic team. And those players have either spent time in MLS or spending time in our academies, and focusing in on that ecosystem collectively, I think, is what's going to have our country, by the way, both on the men's and the women's side, continue to be successful. Obviously, next year is a very, very busy one. The FIFA Club World Cup is going to take place in many, many MLS markets and throughout our country. The Seattle Sounders and Inter Miami will represent our league. We will debut our 30th club in San Diego. And we have something that many of you, I hope, will watch, which is going to be a great Drive to Survive show that will premiere in the beginning part of our season. You'll begin to hear more about what that is and what it's called and where it's going to be distributed. So I just want to say we are all at our league, our club, the league office, all of our players and staffs committed to working together on this path to 26. We have this unbelievable opportunity to continue the great trajectory and have even more momentum as we build the sport for years to come. So I want to thank everybody on the board and thank everybody who might be listening remotely. Thanks.
Thank you, Don. And throwing it over to Amanda.
Hi, everyone. It is great to see all you guys. And thanks to Don for that great update. I thought some along the USL, I'd give a little bit of an update both on our men's pathway and then our women's pathway. But really, I appreciate what you said, Don, about tying it to the ecosystem and focusing on the impacts that we're having across the U.S. national team landscape, too. So I brought a couple highlights from that. So like Cindy mentioned, actually at the top, it's a big weekend for the USL Championship on our men's side. Our final is tomorrow in Colorado Springs versus Rhode Island FC, one of our expansion teams this year. That match sold out within 72 hours, and it'll be our first over-the-air network on CBS. So we're really excited about this kind of opportunity. USL Championship having a direct impact on the senior men's national team. The most recent roster included 9 players who were previously in the USL Championship, 2 who were in League One, and 3 who were in League Two. So you can see across each of our levels within the USL, we're integrated and actively supporting that ecosystem and growth. The USL Championship club specifically and their academies have produced 7 players that were called into the youth national teams this year, from 1 in the U20s, 5 in the U19s, and 1 in the 17s. So congratulations to all those guys and the clubs that they represent. Continuing on the men's side with League One, last weekend we had our League One championship where Union Omaha became the league's first two-time champion. We had a record crowd in Omaha. It was a very exciting final with Spokane Velocity, again, an expansion team in the championship game. Next year, we're adding 5 new clubs across California, Texas, New York, Florida, and Maine, bringing the league to 15 teams, which will be our biggest slate yet. League Two, our amateur men's league or pre-professional men's league. I thought it was interesting to note that 47 of 48 teams in the NCAA Division I College Cup kicking off this weekend featured League Two alumni. So you can see the impact that our League Two is having in that space, the collegiate space. And for the league itself, next year you'll see us add 20 to 25 new teams, pushing the total to over 130. On the women's side, near and dear to my heart, you guys know the USL Super League. We're nearing the end of our fall schedule of our inaugural season. Amazing couple of months we've had with USL Super League. Big news for us, 2 weeks ago, we voluntarily recognized the USL Players Association as the players' bargaining representative, marking a significant milestone for our league and highlighting our commitment to supporting the players' right to advocacy and ensuring the long-term sustainability of the Super League. We're excited for the players, thrilled to be working with the PA in the long-term development of the Super League. Couple areas where we're impacting the women's national team programs in the Super League. We've got 4 Super League Academy players called up to U.S. youth national teams for the 2024 FIFA U17 Women's World Cup. And Evan Osteen, who plays for Dallas Trinity, our Super League team, won the Golden Glove of the tournament. Congratulations to her, goalkeeper Union. 4 USL Super League players called up to the U.S. Youth National Team U19 training camp, and Stella Spitzer of Carolina Ascent, she's the youngest Super League player called into the U15s. So exciting to see all these players really thriving within the U.S. National Team environment. In the W League, we're adding 20 to 25 new teams next year. Again, this is our pre-professional women's league. We've got 44 W League players now competing in the Super League. So demonstration of the pathway, the player pathway in action for us. I thought I'd call attention in particular to Clemson alum and of course U.S. Women's National Team player Hal Hirschfeld, who previously played in the W League for Greenville Liberty and the Indy 11 in the W League before beginning her pro career with the Washington Spirit. And she's of course playing for the NWSL Championship this weekend. So good luck to her. I'll end with USL Academy and Youth. We've got a big month coming up with the USL Academy League Finals taking place at IMG in a couple of weeks, December 5th to the 8th. And the 2024 Electrolit US Youth Finals will follow after that in Tampa with 140 teams playing for the national championship. So that's a high-level look across the USL ecosystem. Thanks to you all and to everyone who might be listening. Congratulations and thank you. We look forward to an exciting 2025 season.
Thank you, Amanda. And I did want to call out that Jessica from NWSL couldn't make it as she is busy getting ready for the championship tomorrow, taking place in Kansas City. So wish her the best of luck as well. And we'll wrap with youth, throwing it over to Tina.
Hey guys, Tina here to give you an update on both USU Soccer and the Youth Council. To start off with USU Soccer, I'm thrilled to announce that we have topped our membership. We are at 2.6 million members. That's taking us back to pre-COVID numbers. So we're super excited about that. And I'm so proud of all of our state associations and everything they've done to grow the game locally. On the national front, we are in the midst of reimagining our national championship series and looking for ways to provide more direct, straightforward pathways to our national championship and really giving more players the opportunity to play for a national championship and play against teams from other regions. So look for that coming out in 2026, and hopefully we'll be making an announcement at the beginning of 25 how that's going to look. On the youth council front, I want to give a huge shout out to Mike and Doug and Ryan and really everything that we've done to lean in and really collaborate on important topics, you know, most notably the birth year conversation, but we're also continuing to find other ways to collaborate and really highlight each other's strengths, with coaching education and talent identification being at the forefront of that. We are collaborating at the United Soccer Coaches Convention. I'm sure Sherry is appreciating that I'm giving a shout out to that. But look for a joint workshop there. And then we are also working together to host the first ever all-female entry-level course for club technical leadership pathway. And that's going to be alongside US Soccer and WAGs. And then obviously continuing with the collaborative spirit, USYS has also partnered with US Soccer to provide specific support and opportunities to the US Soccer Women's Referee Initiative. And so, kind of like everyone here said, we are super encouraged by all the collaboration that's happening across the youth soccer landscape. And we're really just, looking forward to continue to find ways to leverage the growth and really make an impact to grow the game locally.
Thank you, Tina, and thank you everyone for the great updates. Again, congratulations to Union Omaha for winning USL League One championship last weekend. Best of luck to the teams in upcoming USL championship final, the NWSL championship this weekend, and to the teams still vying to get to the MLS Cup in December. So hope everyone tunes in to watch the exciting conclusions to our domestic pro season. And thank you again to everyone for sharing. Moving over to soccer services and strategies. I want to start with some updates on ITG before we move to an official vote. But first, to just give a quick reminder on some of the key updates overall that were driven by responsiveness to member needs through what we heard from you all, as well as alignment with kind of US soccer broader priorities. The required program themes for this year focused on three different areas. First, growing the number of referees and investing in referee mentorship and development. 2, growing participation meaningfully and sustainably. And 3, supporting safe places to play. We've additionally updated things like our prioritization rubric, really focusing on including things like partnerships and collaboration. We wanted to drive towards more transparency and accountability. So whether that be through additional good standing requirements, satisfactory progress updates, or more information just made available to the public in general. And finally, we've evolved and will continue to evolve how we can provide new support and services, things like enhanced flexibility, enhanced marketing efforts, and more. So a lot more to come. But if we go to the next slide, the amount that we are proposing for funding, I first want to say is the highest amount that's ever been awarded by US Soccer, which is incredibly exciting and totals slightly over $3.5 million. And this breakdown includes 100% of programs, including participation, 80% on safe places to play, 74% on referees, and really just shows a lot of these applications touched on multiple priority themes referenced earlier, and just really excited just to see the potential of what we're moving forward with here. So unless there are any questions, I will throw it now over to Cindy or to Greg to move to vote.
Any questions? All right, hearing none, I need a motion to approve.
Motion
To approve.
Second.
Anyone opposed? All right, congratulations to the ITG grant recipients. It is approved. So I think it's back to you, Sherry.
Thank you very much. Yes. Shifting over to Safe Soccer Clearance Program. So excited to share, we are prepping for our full launch of the Safe Soccer Clearance Program next year. To date, through both our pilot and our beta phase, we have over 35,000 participants that are fully cleared. And I want to say a huge thanks to everyone that has been part of both the pilot and the beta process, because this has allowed us to listen, to learn, to evolve our program to make this as effective as possible for all of you. So as we work towards our full launch next year, a few kind of key next steps I wanted to share with the group. First is that we're going to work in partnership with all of our member orgs as we look at designing implementation and requirements roadmaps. Second is we're going to continue to make platform and process improvements. Feedback will continue forward. It's a part of how we're going to operate. And we have heard priorities and know what we need to kind of make available to move us from testing to full operations. We are going to continue to evaluate and update our content as we want to ensure it aligns with best practices moving forward. And we'll be launching our official broad awareness campaign. So my ask is just continue to reach out to the team to be a part of the program, to provide feedback. Looking forward to our full launch. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Carrie Seitz for some refereeing updates. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry. It's been an amazing, I'm saying action-packed 7 months here at being at US Soccer. There's a lot going on, and refereeing has a big task in front of it, as probably most of you know, requiring cultural and technical changes. We have a big mission. Establishing refereeing as an essential part of soccer success in the US. We got to make it appealing and rewarding for people to give back in this way. But it's totally possible. We have the people, we have the team behind, and this is a great time. The future is really bright. Just a couple points I want to share. There's a lot's been going on. First of all, there is good news, lots of good news happening. While we're still 20,000 below our high point of number of referees in 2017, we have grown by 12,000 referees in just the last year, and we will continue to see that growth for sure. And we have a long way to go. We have had, while a huge loss in our referee coach pool, we are making big strides in sort of reimagining what that future will look like. And just this past weekend, we had a very successful coach camp. Our national referee coaches, we invested a significant amount of time to arm them with tools to go out into the market and train our regional and local referees. And this is a big investment in really building the foundation so that we can build a better program. And so we're very excited about that. We know that referee abuse is continuing to be on the rise, and there are a lot of different initiatives going forward, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But some other things that have been happening that I want to share with the larger organization. First is a new team and growing. So I've been lucky to have added to over 30 years of refereeing development experience in our refereeing, and passion and motivation and solution oriented. So we're going to be looking under every opportunity to find ways to reinvent and create motivation and bring refereeing to head. So Brian Hall has joined our team, Matt Cheeseman, Faiza Varani, really a great host of expertise. The national coaching camp, which I mentioned, this new coaching pathway we've just proposed out into the market, we're working through. This is going to expand the number of opportunities to bring more mentors in. Those mentors will help us retain the new and young referees. And then on the top end, to bring more experienced and valued high quality top coaches to create better referees at the top end. So reimagining that entire coaching pathway. We have a new proposal out that is going to really have a significant impact. If we build that strong foundation, we will have more referees, and more referees stay longer. We have an upcoming national referee camp that happens at the beginning of December. First time ever, over 300 applicants. We could only accept 216, which is really the needs. This is our ID pool for the professional game. And so this is going to be an incredible camp that will be coming up over the next 2 weeks at the beginning of December. So we're really proud of that. And awards, as I mentioned, how do we establish refereeing as an essential part of refereeing in the US is really recognition of the work that they do. So we've just launched the Fernando G. Alvarez Referee Champion Award. I'm very proud of this award because it celebrates the referee community, those behind. Actually, it could be a coach, it could be a player, it could be someone in the media, it could be an organization, people who are out there championing the value of the referee program. Please submit. We need nominations, and we want you to celebrate these important contributors to the game. And then coming up in December, along with the player awards, we will have, for the first time ever, US Soccer will have Referee of the Year awards along with the players. So we're really proud of that as well. These recognitions highlight what the referees contribute to the game. And so there are many, many more things. We have this amazing partnership with Pro that we're developing, Pro, the professional referee organization, and how that's helping the ladder in development. And then we are up-leveling our Women Referee Initiative. So many things to talk about, but this is just a taste and some highlights. And I'm actually going to turn it over to Sherry to talk a little bit about the work we're doing in the RAP, which is the referee abuse prevention, around creating safer working environments for our referees.
Thank you, Carrie. So we have continued into phase 2 of our referee abuse prevention working group with a new proposed update to our policy, which focuses on a penalties framework. And as a quick reminder, our phase 1 of 531-9 updates really focus on defining who is covered by the policy, action subject to immediate suspension, as well as a need for this spectrum approach, which we have taken forward into phase 2. So the Technical Development Committee is proposing a policy change to introduce a penalties framework that will define the penalties and suspensions. And similar to phase 1, I want to emphasize that I'm really proud of the work that the team has done in driving a great feedback-driven process, engaging and getting significant inputs from many across the ecosystem. So thank you for that. And just thank you to Mike Colina and others on the Referee Abuse Prevention Working Group, to our internal team who continue to drive this forward. We think this is incredibly important work and appreciate just the effort, the focus, the engagement to date on this. So happy to answer questions, but if there are none, I will again pass it over to Cindy to move to vote.
All right, any questions on this? This has been a long time coming. I need a motion to approve.
Yep, I'll make it.
Second,
I'll second.
anyone oppose? Great, it is approved. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, and Tina, yes, I was very happy you did call out United Soccer Coaches, because I will wrap on sharing just that we are excited to spend time with those that will be attending the United Soccer Convention coming up in January in Chicago. And you can expect there to be a great presence by U.S. Soccer. We'll have a number of different presentations and seminars with different U.S. Soccer leaders across the organization. Lots of opportunities to engage in office hours with U.S. Soccer leadership, JT, Cindy, Matt, myself, Carrie, and others, and opportunities to continue to provide feedback to our teams on a range of topics. So an incredible event. We're looking forward to attending, and excited to just connect, engage with everyone that's there. So thank you. I will now pass it over to Gooch.
Thanks, Sherry. I want to first thank everybody for covering all the slides that I was about to speak to, or at least the contents of it. So thank you, John Collins, Chris Aarons, and Cindy for referencing a lot of the information that I'm going to do or speak about. So this makes it a little bit easier for me. So our youth national teams and our extended national teams, as well as our senior national teams, have been busy and have experienced a lot of success on the global stage these past few months. And just to highlight a few, as you see the picture in front of you, our U17 women's took bronze in the U17 World Cup, which was their best finish since 2008, as well as our U20s women youth national team also took bronze. And just a fun fact, this year we are the only country to have podium finished in the 17s, the 20s, and the Olympics. So congratulations to them. Our U.S. men's deaf national team took bronze, as we previously mentioned, at the Deaf Pan American Games, and both our men's and women's CP national teams just recently wrapped up the week at the IFCPF World Cup, which included, congratulations to Cassidy as well, a second place finish for the women's team. And finally, as we all know, and we've seen, our senior national teams have been recently piling on the wins, with the men now securing their place in the CONCACAF Nations League semifinals in March. And thanks to two recent wins against Jamaica, and our women just keep rolling on the wins and ramping up the wins. And they have two large matches coming up in the next 10 days, playing England at Wembley and the Netherlands at Den Haag. So this is going to be really important, and it really focuses on something that we all at Sporting, we're focused on developing youth teams with unbreakable winning mentalities. And you could see that with the 17s, the 20s, and developing podium finishing senior teams. So we're really proud of all the successes that our national teams have been having, and our youth national teams and our extended national teams. And we can't wait for the upcoming months, days, and years ahead. So with that, I'm gonna pitch it to Dan, who's gonna speak a little bit about growing investment in the soccer ecosystem.
Thanks, Gooch. And actually, Steph will kick us off, and then I'll jump in from there.
Amazing. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Gooch. Very excited about our corporate partners. We just continue to be really energized by the support from them to help lift up federation efforts. And I'm here to just share a handful of exciting highlights from the past few months. We'll start with Jim Beam, who leaned in as our title partner of the women's match. In Louisville, they did an incredible job helping us promote the match leading up to it, and provided a ton of extras for the fans there. We've got AT&T, who supports our Hispanic heritage efforts. And for the second year in a row, we worked with them on a program called Cultural Connections. And this year it was all about celebrating Hispanic voices, as well as coaches that have made a difference in communities. We've been working with Marriott on a series called In the Lobby that showcases what fans are doing before the match and leading up to the match. And very excited to share that this particular series is currently running in over 2,000 Marriott hotels around the country. We've got VW as well, Volkswagen, who launched a really special edition pre-match top with a deaf artist during Deaf Awareness Month. Those sold out in a matter of minutes. So we're onto something here. And again, just really proud of our partners who are helping to lift up and shine a spotlight on particular initiatives of ours. In the top right, you'll see Michelob Ultra and Truly. This past summer, we had these brands supporting us at retail, and we were featured on over 25 million cans around the country. And that's just really exciting. That's incredible promotion and support from these partners. And we're very, very proud of that. And then top left, we had Coca-Cola come in to help send off our men's and women's teams to the Olympics this past summer with a pretty special moment at Webster Hall in New York City with our friends from Men in Blazers. So just a couple of highlights for you, and so much more to come through the rest of the year and leading up to the World Cup.
And to round out this slide, in addition to all these great activations from our current partners, earlier this week, we also announced a new long-term partnership with Henkel in the consumer packaged goods category. So they're going to be activating leading consumer brands in their portfolio like Glad, Dial, and All, and they'll be the presenting partner of U.S. Soccer's Young Player of the Year Awards and Community Youth Soccer Clinics. They're also going to be a supporting partner of the Arthur M. Blank U.S. Soccer National Training Center. So we're really grateful for their incredible support and excited about the positive impact that they're going to have on growing the game in the years ahead. And let's go to the next slide, please. So last month in Austin, Texas, we hosted the 2024 U.S. Soccer Commercial Summit presented by Deloitte. It was our largest commercial summit to date with over 300 attendees, including partners, licensees, agencies, prospects, and industry influencers. There were a lot of really, really engaging panels throughout the day, including U.S. soccer legends discussing the lasting impact of the FIFA World Cups in 1994 and 1999, and also leaders from our brand and media partners talking about maximizing purpose-driven U.S. soccer partnerships. Coming out of the summit, we've heard consistent feedback that our partners are more excited than ever to work with us to serve and grow our U.S. soccer ecosystem during such an exciting runway ahead for our sport. And with that, next up, we're handing off to Shell.
Thanks, Dan. We can go to the next slide. So I'm excited to provide an update on our Arthur M. Blank National Training Center in Fayetteville, Georgia. Our construction remains on time and on target. And as you can see in the upper right-hand side, grading and clearing has been completed. Our main entry curbs and foundation started in October, and field construction already started this week as well. A few upcoming milestones. The first week in December, vertical construction is going to start, and we're actively searching for our head of grounds and the crew to support the National Training Center. Then on the left-hand side, we continue to invest within local Fayette County. We have local community soccer fields at McCurry Park South that we're investing in. We've held 4 youth national team camps there already, and we're continuing to schedule camps into 2025. We're targeting our staff relocation by mid-2025. We already have about 60 staff that are in Atlanta, and we're in our temporary office space. We're actually getting ready to expand again in January, and we also recently signed a lease for warehouse space. Both offices are in Trillith, which is a few miles away from the NTC. And we're very excited and look forward to having a lot of conversations at AGM about programming at the NTC and the new rendering that we have for everybody in the bottom right-hand corner. We can go to the next slide. For our audited financials, we did complete our audited financial statements in September. So it's 5 months ahead of the prior year. This is with Grant Thornton, our auditors. We presented to the RAC committee and also to the chair. A few highlights from fiscal 24. Change in net assets ended with a 1.28 positive versus a deficit of 40 million in fiscal 23. And our cash grew to 55 million versus 20 million in fiscal 23. There were no significant issues and no major changes from the prior year as well. And I'll turn over to Cindy or Greg for a vote on the financial statements.
Does anyone have any questions before we vote? All right, hearing none, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Anyone opposed? All right, it is approved. Thanks, Shell.
Thank you.
Next slide. All right, the next board meeting will be our annual general meeting in Atlanta on February 28th. I look forward to seeing you all at our new home in Atlanta. And before we end the open session, I have one more shout out. Chris Ahrens, I don't know how many of you know this already, but he was just awarded the California Association PE Teacher of the Year. He teaches adaptive PE in San Diego. So congrats to Chris. Well done.
Thank you, Cindy. Go, Chris, go.
And on that note, we will end the open session, and I'll see you all in a little bit for